Hi, David.
Damien with me. I've got Deb, Kevin, and Nancy.
Okay. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Damien. Yeah, they can't see you. I'm the only one that can see you.
That's all right.
Welcome to our little group.
All right, perfect. Let's see. I just want to test one thing real quick, Damien. Can you? I'm gonna play a clip of music here. I want to make sure you can you, for example, hear this?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. That's beautiful. Because we're actually gonna take new part of that in our show.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. Let's see. Okay. Let's put Damien back on. Can't see him. There we go. Okay. How's your book doing? Is the book coming up soon?
Yeah, I'm on the re-editing it part.
Okay, cool. How's your leg doing?
It's my foot actually, my right foot. So it has nerve damage, and it's right now it's almost back to normal. It's been like about 3 months that I've had where I couldn't walk really.
Damien, I've told you many times you got to stop kicking people. Okay, that kung fu shit, it's got to stop. Perfect. Is there anything you'd like us to focus on during your interview? Something you don't want to get into, or anything like that?
I'm willing to get into anything really. I have a complete open life, and I tell everything about my entire life to anybody.
What do you think about sex with furniture?
What's that now?
What do you think about sex with furniture?
If it turns people on.
I knew it. He was on the grassy knoll.
We're
going to talk about that now.
Okay, perfect. And we'll be recording. And Damien, one more thing. How much time can you give us?
That's what 2-3 hours. How much ever time you want.
I was aiming for 20-30 minutes. So that's good. 2 or 3 hours.
You're awesome.
Whatever.
Okay.
Look, if I'm willing to give over 3 hours to the apologetic school in England, I could say. Which was certainly more tiring than it probably going to be talking to you guys, because I had to basically debate the people.
You might want to hold on to that. You might be wrong.
No, who knows, right?
Hopefully we give you some food for thought, and we
We
don't just all agree on everything, so that sometimes happens.
Oh, well, certainly.
Rule of thumb is rule number 1 is Kevin is right. If that doesn't work, refer back to rule number 1.
Yeah.
I'm always right.
That's right. Where's my applause? There's my applause.
What is the sound
Super
of one
Tramp
hand
had
clapping?
Superman.
What is that on the ceiling?
On that moment.
What's that?
Dreamer.
On your ceiling? Behind you?
Egg beaters?
Egg beaters.
Like, the heck?
Actually, if I turn the computer.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's where the sex with furniture question comes.
Okay. Now things are making sense.
I'm slightly terrified now.
Okay, David, it was fun talking to you. Thank you so much. Okay, let's get serious.
You're like, no, the sex with the furniture was the only question. You failed it, so.
Okay, recording in 3, 2. Okay. And we're back. So our next guest is a Facebook atheist. He used to be a truck driver, and now he's pretty much a full-time debater out there. He's all over the Facebook, all over the internet. Please welcome Damien and Mary AtHope. Hey, buddy.
How you doing? This is Damien AtHope.
See, that's our live audience.
Right on.
Well, thank you for joining us, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. My pleasure.
For those of us, our audience that might not know you, those that have been living under a rock and not seen you on Facebook or anything like that, can you give us a Reader's Digest story of who you are?
Okay, I'm Damien AtHope, and I'm an axiological atheist. But I'll first start talking about myself. I was born in California. I was born in Long Beach, which is Southern California. Anyways, I had religious parents who were were fanatically religious in a cult, and Christians, and they would go out like wearing white like sheets with red writing on them, and you're going to hell, and the signs. They're total fanatics. And we didn't celebrate any holidays, and really no birthdays, and it was just and a lot of abuse and stuff, and because of and directly kind of motivated from the religious ideas, especially spanking your child or whatever. But so that starts me off. So I ended up in a drug and alcohol addiction, and because of that, I ended up at 17 almost dying. Ended up in a rehab and got sober. Once I did that, I went back to the continuation high school that I was already at. I was at a continuation high school because I was such a bad kid. I had actually been expelled and kicked out of high school. So
Sounds like a fun kid to me.
yeah, I was definitely a fun kid. I was trouble. Just where I was at became where the trouble was. But anyways, yeah, so I went back to the continuation high school, and I was really worried at first. All these people are going to get me to be bad again, because it's not just the addiction, it's all the behaviors that go with it. I mean, I shouldn't be robbing and stealing and, threatening and people or whatever. I need to have a different life. So, but the fact is, I when I went there, I realized, actually, I have an opportunity. I started seeing it differently. This is the perfect place to go back to for someone to be trying to be sober. Because I need to actually help these people because they're worse than anyone at a regular high school. And so I started helping people, and I started doing stuff there and trying to get involved. And then it was weird because all of a sudden everybody, about 5 people or so, started like combing their hair like me, dressing like me. It was like weird. It was the first time in my life I realized, wow, I need to watch what I'm doing because I can have an impact. And then I realized, if I do have this impact, may I do it so it's helpful. May my impact be beneficial. And I started realizing, wow, if I have this opportunity, it seems like people follow me, I need to be a good leader. And so I really started focusing on me. And so doing that, I was in this art class. And the teacher left. I don't know if she was fired. I don't remember now or what. But we got this substitute, and she wasn't even an art teacher. And so all the kids just sat there. We're already bad kids. So they started picking up clay, throwing it at the wall, drawing on the walls. And I told the teacher, we need to do something. And she's like, well, I don't know what to do. And I said, well, I know art. So I said, why don't I make this big mural, like 7 feet by 5 feet, and then have the whole class help me paint it? Because some of them aren't artistic. I am, but I can show them, and then we can together make this thing. It was huge. And anyways, they gave me an art scholarship because of doing that. Not just for my art, but actually the helping of the whole class. And because of that, ends up that in my life, I was early, and I got married, and I had basically lost a job and was totally destitute, sitting on a shopping cart, thinking, what can I do with my life, with my wife, and we were homeless. And she says, why don't you be a truck driver? And I thought, truck driver? Me? The guy that has a map to get to his house? Because sometimes I forget? Really? And she goes, well, it'll pay a lot of money, and we can, live in the truck. Like an instant, no more homeless. And a job at the same time. So I thought, well, that could be a good idea. But then I called the school, and they said, you need to have $500. I didn't have no money. But I did have this art scholarship, but I never used for $500. Thought, well, that's almost like it's meant to be. But so I went to the school and I said, can I have my art scholarship? But I don't want to use it for art. Let me use it for truck driving. So they told me, well, actually, because you never used it, it went void after a year or whatever. Because I was like a couple years from high school, and I started crying. The teacher told me I started crying because I'm homeless. I don't know what to do. I don't have a job. And the teacher starts writing out of a checkbook for $500 and gave it to me. And I said, man, I've never experienced such kindness. And I was like, man, I wanted to live up to what you just did. I want to live my life. Because he just saved my life. And he cried. And so then I became a truck driver. And anyways, I did it for 11 years route, and I drove 1 million miles, been to every single state in the United States, 4 provinces of Canada. One of the things I started doing as a truck driver, though, is I started helping other truck drivers. And then I decided I was good at that, and I seemed to, so I started becoming a trainer. So I started training truck drivers. When I started training truck drivers, I realized I seemed to have a knack for teaching. And then I thought, well, why don't I get into counseling? So then I went and got a bachelor's and got a counseling. Then I started getting my master's. But what's funny in my bachelor's, what happened? This strange thing is I had to take 2 religious classes, which I thought was weird because I'm a Christian and I don't need more religion. Anyway, but the first religious class I took, funny thing. It was the world religions. Well, if you'd asked me, Damien, name 5, religions of the world, I don't even know if I could have done it. I would have gone Christianity, Catholic, maybe Mormonism. I would have been Islam. I was so stupid. I was so ignorant. I absolutely know nothing. Which is so weird now because I'm like really educated about it now. It's so bizarre because I was so ignorant. So when I took the class, because I was so ignorant, it was also kind of good because I started hearing the theme. They all were the same. Every single one of them had the only way to the afterlife. Every single one of them has the only morality.
Such a coincidence, isn't it?
Yeah, coincidence. Every single one of them seems to be positioned that wherever they're at is the sacred place. I started going.
You just happen to be born in the right moment.
Yeah, exactly.
That's absolutely amazing.
And so all those things, I was still a Christian, but I started going, man, if they're all wrong and it's all the same, could mine be wrong? Then I told me I had to take a class in the Bible. I thought, yay! The only class that I'm going to ace. I've read the King James and the NIV Bible. My whole life was religious. This is going to be easy. It was the hardest class I ever took. They started bringing in archaeology and saying how things were myths and how this was. I was like, what do you? I mean, it was like the cognitive dissonance was hitting me hard. I was like, I felt like I was drowning in the class. And then I was trying to find some route to grab on as I'm sliding down this mountain, into this cavern. But then I started realizing, no, actually, it's the other way around. I'm actually climbing out of the cavern. Really profound for me in the class in Christianity. I didn't even make it halfway through and I became atheist. And I had never even doubted God in my life. Someone would have said it, I would have laughed. What a stupid doubt God. But all of a sudden, when we got to the point of the middle of the book or something, they talk about Satan, Lucifer, the devil. None of those and the serpent. None of those are the same thing. And then they showed it with verses. It blew my mind. And right then, I had this hot flash come over me, just emotional, and I realized I'm an atheist. It was just like, bam! I didn't know what to call it, but I was like, I don't know what you call it, but I no longer believe in God. The Bible is bullshit. I don't know what that means or anything, but... And so, doing that, for about the first 2 or 3 years, I didn't go on Facebook or anything. I didn't talk to atheists. I basically still was in counseling. But the more I was in counseling, I took 7 classes in my master's. The more I got into counseling, the more I started realizing religion is a real problem. If I want to be effective, that's what I want to be as a counselor, was I want to help the world. I want to try to give back. I want to make a difference. That's why I wanted to be a counselor. I want to help the hurting. So, is it really the most effective just to help one person in a counseling? Or should I really help the systemic problem that even Freud realized, which is religion? And this belief in gods and the harm that comes to that, the shame, the guilt. Just like I would say, you know what? I will always fight religion until they stop indoctrinating children. Because until they stop that child abuse, I will have to always fight religion or gods or anything that is that destructive, that tells you that you are not a full person. You're less of a human. It's just no. So,
especially with your life, that what you've been through, when you can find better morality in the Spider-Man comic book that says, with great power comes great responsibility.
Well, oh yeah.
Well, yeah, it's a better lesson that you can find in the Bible.
Well, and what you said is pretty much what I learned. I realized I have a great power, and thus I have a great responsibility. And that's how I tried to live my life, is really present in all that. And so, but so funny. So once I decided that I was gonna, the biggest problem I needed to solve was religion and gods. That's when I started. I need to be a public atheist. And actually, I stopped college and I said, I need to write a book, because I hear all these atheists online and I don't really kind of agree. Doesn't mean that I'm saying that my way is the right way, but I'm just saying that I hear skepticism so much pushed, but really to me it should be rationalism. I hear, that we have to be agnostics, and that why the proposition of God is not even a full intelligible concept. There's nothing that can point to in reality and go, oh, that means what a God is. It's just ludicrous. So, which is an agnostic with an I, or an atheist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining us on the show, Damien, and you got to stay with us.
Right on.
Right now, we're going to do a segment called Oh, yeah. We got a nice little story, and I want everybody to jump in on this. Now, did you guys know that just when you thought you had control over your life and you were confident you were a Taurus with an ascendant in Scorpio, here comes NASA with science to spoil the day. NASA revealed there are actually 13 signs of the zodiac. When people hear about the NASA new zodiac signs, they were confused, as it would mean a huge change on their astrological sign. Actually, it did, aside from adding the new zodiac sign, NASA changed the date, as it is necessary, right? The zodiac signs have been having an overhaul this year and moving forward. Per the report, that the Babylonians purposely left out a sign called, I hope I'm saying this right, Ophiuchus, because they need 12 signs, but the zodiac sign has been present in celestial light. The sun reportedly aligns with Ophiuchus, the 13th sign of the zodiac, for 18 days during the year.
Uh-oh, I'm in trouble now.
Well, it turns out that, every month, the signs, they're not aligning simply for like a month or so. Sometimes it's 45 days, sometimes it's 18 days, sometimes it's 30 days. So, Ophiuchus is based on the constellation of the same name, which is also known as the Serpent Bearer in Greek. The new zodiac sign would have been part of the horoscope since 1970, when Stephen Schmidt proposed it. However, since the proposal was controversial, the astrological community opted to stick with the 12 zodiac signs that the people already knew, until NASA decided to bring it back. Can't really contradict NASA, can you? So you guys ready to learn your new sign?
I don't know. It sounds a little spooky to me.
Okay, well, I was known to be an Aries because I was born April 7th.
Okay.
But turns out now I'm a Pisces.
You're a Pisces
I'm
now?
a Pisces now.
You have to change your entire personality?
Absolutely.
Oh.
Now I love to swim way more. David, when were you born?
I was born September 6, 1971.
September 6th. So, were you a Virgo?
Yeah. Yeah.
You are now a Leo, sir. From August 10th to September 16th, you are now a Leo.
That's funny. Not like I ever even acknowledged that I was a Virgo.
Nancy, you are now a Virgo.
I'm a Virgo.
Or September 16th to October 30th.
Oh, there goes all my attractive Libra habits, and now I've
Kevin,
You
now I
seem
gotta
so
be a
balanced
persnickety, you know.
Kevin, I already know my sign. It's stop.
Stop. When is your birthday, sir?
July 15th.
July 15th. July 15th. That means that you're a Gemini now, from June 21st to July 20th.
Well, that explains my split personalities.
It sure does. And what about you, Dan?
I was a Sagittarius.
You were a Sagittarius, but now you are actually you're 17, right?
Yeah.
You're just on the line. You're just on the line of the Ophiuchus and Sagittarius.
I've always been on the cusp of something big.
That's right.
Okay. Yep, that would be me.
I think it's
still.
wonderful because now you've got entire resources of excuses for how. Well, I used to be a Gemini, but now I'm a
I'm
Pisces.
just so confused, Nancy.
It takes all the blame
The struggle is real.
off of your parents. You know, well, your parents are to blame. No, now it's the change of signs.
That's right.
And you can go on forever with excuses. It's great.
If you
And mothers are blameless now.
if you take a sign, for example, like Virgo, September 16th to October 30th, it's actually longer than a month. It's almost a month and a half. But if you take Scorpio, and this is of course real science, by the alignment of the constellation to our planet. Scorpio now is only November 23rd to the 29th. 6 days. You have 6 days to be a Scorpio, and that is it.
I have no faith in this. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Well, this is great. Nobody has faith in it.
There was a time that a man told me to be forewarned of a snake in the garden, right?
I be a snake too.
Well, it's an added complication, but there again, more excuses for your behavior, so it's a trade-off.
Absolutely.
I like it.
Perfect. Excellent. Now let's focus on our friend Damien. Oops, sorry. Don't know where that one was. Yes, do you have a question?
Yeah, is it Atheist Nexus? Is that right?
Atheist Nexus.
No, like Damien's site.
Oh, Damien, can you answer that?
What, my website? It's DamienMarieAtHope.com.
Okay, you had made a post on Axiological Atheism on a different site.
Well, I made a axiological post about axiological atheism posts on all over the place.
Oh, okay, that's great. Can I quote you in a paper if I do one for school?
Sure.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, he's all over the place. All right.
Yeah, but if you just go on Google and just put my name, Damien Marie AtHope, then I'm all over the place.
Awesome.
So.
Okay. All right, so Damien, tell me something. In your country, in the good old U.S. of A., it's not an easy thing to be an atheist. And you're out there talking to a lot of people. Where do you think the status of atheism is at this point in the U.S.?
Well, I would say in the U.S., the status of atheism is growing, but I think to some extent, I think the religious people are either afraid of us because they know, or they think that we're ludicrous, so they see us as a joke. I would say, or like they're sorry for us because they think that, which is so bizarre. Because I do street activism. I also go to colleges, and so I hold signs, and I don't do like the Christians. I don't yell at people or anything. I just stand there and I offer free candy usually. And then free candy and philosophy.
You're not doing this while in the back of a van somewhere, are you?
No.
Free candy and philosophy, I like that. So do you feel that these Christians that are thinking of you as being, well, and us atheists as being ludicrous, do you think they're doing that in, like a nervous laughter kind of thing?
No, like I said, I think it's like true belief. It's hard to explain because I do know from coming from my parents being a religious cult, I've seen people be in a cult. I see how they're like, whatever, like the master says, oh yes, oh please, I lick your shoe. Oh, can I please, like do you see about the one cult in Japan where the people castrated themselves?
Oh.
Yeah. No, thank you.
To
me,
what one might be doing in their personal time. I mean, those rubber
Whatever
bands can be
floats
used
your
for all
boat.
sorts of things,
Is
right?
that the Lorena Bobbitt cult?
I'm saying, so religious does a very weird thing to people. I mean, like me, it's almost like it reminds me that it's almost like grief, like the first stages or something. It's like all these different things that happen when people are deconstructed from a cult. But to me, the problem is, in general, most of Christianity or most of religion, Islam, most of them almost are like cults. So the people, it's like they see with colored glasses. They cannot even. So when they think we're ludicrous, I don't think it's like a joke. I mean, I think it's like if someone were to tell us atheists the Earth is flat, which is there's ludicrous people out there, and we look at them like, the fuck, I mean, it's so insane.
Yeah,
It's just, so it's not like laugh. You almost got like, are you kidding? Like you're not sure if they're serious. And I think that, but I remember when I was, like I said, when I was a Christian, if you would have said, if I ever doubted God, I would have laughed at you, because what a stupid thing. That's like asking if I ever doubted I have a toe.
Okay, fair enough. So are there places, I mean, you travel all over the States. I mean, is the representation that we have of the United States, the South being very, very religious and the North being much more progressive, is that really an accurate description, or are there like really pockets here and there? Is it more like a city versus rural as far as atheism is concerned?
As far as atheism is concerned, if you mean as far as how we're seen or how strong atheism is, I'm not exactly sure.
Well, maybe the reaction to meeting an atheist. I mean, I'm sure the reaction is different if you meet him in Alabama as compared to New York, right?
Well, yeah, kind of. It's just different. In other words, like say in the South, you're used to when someone says that, you're used to being more aggressive, maybe. Okay. So in other words, if I say I'm an atheist, what? You're an atheist? That's, how could you, stupid. You know what, brother? I pray for you. Where maybe in New York, you say you're an atheist, and they're like, that's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? So in a sense, it's the same bigotry. It's like atheistophobia is the same, but how it's expressed is a little different.
But I think, as a matter of, I was going to say evolution, but I think you find pockets of atheists in every state that are really trying to educate. They're trying to get people to deconvert. I don't know how active, or whether you can call all of the groups that are meeting activists, but I think today you probably find many more groups than you did 5 or 10 years ago. Yeah.
Damien, do you feel that the message of atheism is coming out more in the States?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Absolutely, it's coming out more, and that's why I know that it's even more important though when it does come out that I think that for me personally, I don't speak for everyone, but for me, I would like it to have a message of hope, not just the hatches of some kind of like feeling that. Because the feeling that, what I mean is the feeling that they're going to feel, like say when I was a Christian, the moment that you tell me there's no God, let's just say you were able to give me evidence, not like in class where it was a little bit slower process, but if you were just able to show me there is no God, in a sense, then I would have felt a loss, like someone had died. And so I know that's a real problem, because you hear people, they won't say I believe in Christianity, they'll say I am a Christian. I don't believe in the Book of Islam, I am. My children are, and they say my family, we're all Christians. They don't say we all believe in the Bible and the teachings of Jesus. You know what I'm saying? So it's not a belief. For me, that's a big important thing. So how we address that, for me, we have to do it with more kindness, because these people someone's dying. Now that doesn't mean I don't think that sometimes that the shocking them is not important too. Yes, because sometimes we need to be shocked, because what happens is we're never challenged, like I was never challenged. We actually, we're allowing this sickness of religion and belief to continue. So even though, say, it's almost like if a family has a drug addict and you do an intervention, certainly the person at the point of being intervented, against, feels like the entire world's against them. All their friends, everyone I could have ever trusted, now they don't trust me, now they hate me, when actually the family cares, the family's trying to help, they're telling them facts they don't want to hear, but they're facts that are not being said with the desire to actually inflict harm. But with the facts, even like they'll say, you love me, you broke my heart, and if you don't go to treatment today, I will have to no longer, allow you my life, So those are hard facts, but they're out of love. And that's what I want. I want to give hard atheist facts, hard anti-religious facts, but I want to do it out of love. I want to do it because I want to save people in their minds, their lives, because it's life destroying and an infringement to be in religion.
But don't you feel that sorry, I thought somebody was saying that. No, don't you feel that maybe if these people identify their religion as their own identity, like you said, they don't believe, then if you're using these hard facts, even out of love, they might not be able to read the motivation you have.
Oh, well, certainly not. Like I said, if you were to ask right at the point of the person being in an intervention for drugs, how do you feel about people? Like I said, they would feel everyone's against them. So yes, I know. It's really hard. Like I said, which is to me more important for me to try to be kind, because the message will be heard better. It's to me, it's not really the hard fact. It's how, in other words, I need to learn to be understanding of them. So, which is really a hard thing. But see, it reminds me of fear, though. That we need to not fear them, too. Not fear Christians. Not fear Muslims. Not fear Hindus, Buddhists, whatever. Not fear... And I don't mean the religions. I'm talking about the people. That because they have a religion, we don't think all the time, hey, there's people with, guns out there that are going to kill us, or there's people with mental illness, or there's people, that are escaping prison or something. We do not think constantly in our lives about all these things. But those are still realities, and it is important to know if they're in your neighborhood. Wouldn't you want to know, even though it's a hard fact, you would want to know if there's a child rapist that just escaped prison and he's in your neighborhood. Same, I feel. It is an ever-present threat. Religion, God, concepts are this ever-present thing that's against humanity. It's in our neighborhood. It's on our streets. It is hurting our children. And I have to do something about it.
Yeah, and of course, with your bag of candy to sweeten the pot,
Yeah.
that kind of helps.
Hi, Damien.
Hello.
Other Kevin here. So you raised an interesting point. Like, it sounds to me like you go about this in a way to try and circumvent the natural walls that people put up, right? So what do you do when you come across somebody who is intellectually not capable of understanding that kind of level of reason that axiomatic or axiological atheism kind of entails, because it's a scientific thing, right?
So let me explain axial. Go ahead.
What does he do when he meets a dumbass?
Yeah, well,
why are you looking at me when you say that?
Well, because right. What would you do?
So first off, I don't really. I see people as being stupid, not dumbasses. But stupid because I see stupid as not actually even as a derogatory. It's just that you're doing a behavior that's causing harm. You realizing it or unrealizing it, but you're continuing. And so we need to show people that things are stupid, and no one wants to hear they're doing stupid things. But if you continue doing stupid things, it is harmful. So, like I said, it really how you break things down is, like you said, axiological atheism. It's not. I'm not taking it an axiom. Axiological or axiology, if you look it up, the word, it's basically value theory or value science. I basically go in between those. The reason I don't do as much science part of it is only because I'm not good at calculus. You have to understand calculus to truly be able to do the actual legitimate scientific axiology. So what axiology does is everything that you say is worth, good, that is value, all that has to do with axiology. What axiology is like the philosophy. It is actually a philosophy. It's a philosophy of what you value, why you value, who you value, and what's worth valuing, what's not worth valuing, what's not good, what's evil, what's harmful, what's whatever. And it's able to quantify it, to be able to see it in a big picture, to start putting the world in like a structure of value, to where you start realizing that actually, and there's been neuroscientists that actually that figured out that axiology actually is in the brain. It's how we process. It really makes sense. It's a basic thing. Even animals do it. In a sense, we need to be able to assess the worth, the value, the goodness of things, because that helps our survival.
Right, to see the value is inside those people, right? So
correct, exactly.
Right.
So because I'm that kind of an atheist, that's almost like, well, it is. It's a part of ethics. So it's almost like an ethical argument against God, an ethical argument against religion, an ethical argument for humanity, an ethical argument for universal ethics. It's this whole structure. So we're like, in other words, a regular person says I'm an atheist. They're saying I don't believe in God. Where an axiological atheism is the not God is like a very small part of the entire scope of what it's talking about.
Well, this is great because, I appreciate that you can see the difference, or that you realize the difference between ethics and morality. Because, in my opinion, or what I've been told, anyways, is morality tends to carry with it a kind of a religious context, whereas ethics is more so the logic of the whole thing, right?
Well, let me explain exactly how I see it. So, morality is like the main subheading. Morality. Okay? Under that is ethics and morals. Now, those are not the same thing. I agree with you. So, I try to break it down real simple for people. So, moral is a personal. Ethics is a social. So, this is why I try to say religion's actually doing something very wrong. They take a personal moral and make it a public moral. It's not a public. It's not a social. That's not how you should interact with others. That is how you should interact with yourself. Morals should be almost like values and virtues, like something that I say when I want to be a kind person. That's a moral that I am aspiring to, should be. They're corrupting it and making it like it's an ethic. So yeah, there's definitely a difference.
We're getting a bit of feedback from your line there, Damien. That's pretty cool. And I hear you're on the verge of publishing a book yourself.
Yeah, and even how I did that is kind of strange. I wasn't even gonna, publish a book, but I started. The more I started talking to people, the more I started realizing that people said that we didn't know things, or you couldn't say where religion came from exactly. I'm like, why not? Well, why hasn't someone looked into the archaeology? And it's not like we don't know facts. I mean, when did this shit start? We should have a better hand on it. So I basically spent almost 3 years. I read 5 books on archaeology. I mean, college level, $200 books, whatever. And actually started training myself. And became, I wouldn't call myself an archaeologist or anything, but I mean, I certainly have enough to where I start to understand. Because my goal was, I wanted to be able to show that you don't need to believe religion. And this isn't my opinion. This is a scientific fact. And so that's what my book does, I believe. I go from 1 million years all the way to 18-something with the last biggest world religion. And so everything in between.
Yeah, well, we'll look forward to actually seeing your book and when it comes out. Damien, if people want to know more about you and what you're doing, where can they find you?
Well, the best place, if you want to just find out quickly about me, is to go to my website. And the website's at DamienMarieAtHope.com.
Okay. Excellent. Now, Damien, one more thing before I let you go, can I ask you a small favor? Can I get you to say, hi, I'm Damien Mary at Hope, and I took a left in the valley?
Hi, I'm Damien AtHope, and I took a left at the valley.
Beautiful. Excellent. Thank you so much, Damien. I hope we can save a lot of it because at the end your line's kind of going in and out. But I think we'll have to amplify some of the points there. But basically, good interview. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you.
Thank you, Damien. This
Yeah,
was awesome.
we really enjoyed it. It's a powerful story, and I really got into your parsing of ethics and morals
Yes.
and morality.
I had
Come back and let's do that segment in a little more depth, because there's some fascinating stuff there, isn't there?
yes, and I think.
Oh yeah, I haven't even got started because I also want to explain we need to know the ontology of things. It has the thingness of things. In other words, like what's the core of something. So this is very important for morals because the first thing you say is how do you justify morals? So that's a very easy argument to me to refute. Simply,
We've got to have you on the show again.
No, we're actually going to have to get him on the show again, and we'll have to just bring him up here from Seattle. You'll just have to come and visit us, Damien.
yeah, really.
Awesome.
We're not that far apart, really. We're just 2 hours apart.
No, hour and a half, 2 hours, you're here, and if you're lucky, brownies and coffee.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, speaking of morality, that's actually going to be my second book.
Nice.
My book's going to be called Fallen Morals, Uplifted Ethics.
Oh, good. Well,
nice.
before you publish the book, come up here and we'll act as your focus group, and we can have a great discussion.
Yeah. I mean, I really appreciate your time, Damien, and we'll have you on the show again. Whenever you want to come back, let me know. If you'd be so kind, send me the links that people can put you. We'll put it in the notes of the show. And once I've edited all this and air it tonight, probably somewhere, I'll send you a link as well, and you can pass it on to everybody you want to. I hope the recording went good on your side. Up here, it went fine, but then it started going up and down. So I'm not sure what happened there, but I'll try to save it as much as I can.
Sounds wonderful, and I definitely enjoyed it.
Excellent.
Thanks, Damien.
Thanks, Damien. I appreciate that. We'll talk to you soon, buddy.
All right. Bye.
Okay, bye.